Hey, my name is Noah Body Importance, and I am running from the presidents. Do not vote for me. Do not vote for them. Vote with your wallet. You see, because the power structures that be that are in place have been developed from the beginning of the birth of this country. There is no such thing as true representation or true democracy in the United States. It has failed time and time again at the will and the interests of those who would subjugate others towards their economic interest. It is a bullying system by which those who do not submit to the will of the collective consciousness of the investors and the invested families who have held power over industry and resources and driving economies, and those that would sleep in bed with them will do whatever they can to make sure that you fall into line to their will of having no purpose other than to glean a profit and drive people towards developing their idea of what a balanced society is. You see, civilization is a farcity because the root word of civilization is civil. Anything that is civil is coming from a military-based mentality, because you see, civilians are the lowest rung of the military complex. We are here to serve the military-industrial complex, to spread its will, to serve as the muscle for the corporation. The corporation is the industrial, mechanized, capitalistic system of producing products, supply and demand, and controlling markets and interest, therefore controlling resources and the very reality by which the world is operating upon. You see, but I don't blame these politicians nor... See, yesterday democracy officially died. It's been a long time coming, and even though you see there's people here protesting the election of the rump, as I refer to him, it's been clearly demonstrated to us by the powers that be, and they're not just politicians. We're talking about a whole industrial complex here of capitalistic and venture quality oriented interests. And what people fail to recognize is that these entities of plutocracy are being architected to oppress, contain, and subjugate people to the will of their machine. This is the manifest destiny of the brave new world. It is the manifest destiny of a new order. The order of no order other than for us to just get in line and pay servitude to a system that is sickened and corrupted by its own quest for power out of fear. It perpetuates a certainty of separation, of people being pitted against each other for no cause other than to serve the greater good of the corporation. The corporation of the United States of America. The United States of America is not a country, it's a concept. You have to ask yourself, where do Americans come from? Regardless of whether they're born on these shores, they didn't come from here. They came from other places in this world. People came here looking for opportunity, misguided by the American dream, and amalgamated and adapted in order to capitulate to being in the system. Otherwise, their goods and their very being and its survival would be threatened if they didn't fall into line to this caste system. The land of opportunity is for those who are opportunistically sucking off of those who are here with good intention. This election has proven to us that the body politic of the United States is beyond apathetic. It is destabilized, it is demoralized, and it is useless in its power to overtake its containers and its leadership. Leadership is not here to represent the people's interest. The leadership is here to represent their invested interests that fund their campaigns, fund their legislation, and continue this vicious cycle of plutocracy that they are establishing to lock down this world into a death cycle of complete servitude. But I don't blame these politicians, nor the corrupted officials, nor the powers that may be for what they are. They are doing what they do best because we've given them the power to do so because of our own inadequacies, our own attachments towards material reality, our own greed and lust and desire for things that have no intrinsic value beyond satisfying our immediate need to survive as fearful creatures, afraid of nature, afraid of uncertain destinies, afraid of symbiotic systems that are in balance. So no matter how much we protest, which is a very small turnout here comparatively to the massive amount of people living in San Francisco and in the world. And by the way, we are here at the capital of San Francisco, post the Trump election on Wednesday, November 9th. I'm here to remind people that we are responsible. We are responsible for this. We are responsible for this, for being separated and buying into their game, buying into their traps, and being seduced by this false notion that we're secure, this false notion that we're independent, this false notion that we have the right to rape this earth of all of its resources and build dead structures of inert objects that have to be restored over and over again at a high cost and a high utilization of resources that are not renewable. Okay? This earth is precious, and we've lost touch with what's sacred. We've lost touch with what has given us life. The very earth we live on, we shit upon. We cover with concrete and buildings that have no other purpose but to control people, put them in a mentality of structured, boxed, caged reality. We are not free in the United States. You're only free in the United States if you can afford it, and that can only last for so long. We're living in neo-feudal times, and this is the culmination of not only the United States' demise, but it's also the fall of mankind, because the United States is a culmination of humanity's desire to live a life of ease, luxury, and glory. And what comes of that? Nothing but corruption. Absolute power breeds absolute corruption. And so people rant and rave and scream at the television about what's wrong about this candidate or that candidate. Let's not look at the candidates. Look at the puppetry behind them. The whole infrastructure and all the investors that have poured billions of dollars into their campaigns for years, decades, lifetimes. Generations of people are subjugated to the will of a very small percentage of people in this earth who feel they need to have so much abundance to control and cannot reinvest in an efficient manner. We are on the verge of complete meltdown on the life cycle on this planet. And for what? For what? And why are we in such a hurry? What is this race towards understanding and technology? It's only an extension of our minds that are undeveloped. We are creatures of very fragile nature, making a sacrifice of the rest of the living system of this planet in order to live a comfortable life. Look what it's brought to us. We have rampant racism, worse than it's ever been on this planet. And for what reason? And at this time and age of 2016, you would think that we would have the social graces, the spiritual grounding and understanding that we are far from balanced. We need to start enabling each other. We need to start having a relationship back with which we came from. The fact that our water supply is threatened, the fact that California is drier than it's ever been and has been on fire for the past 5 years, the fact that there is a separation between the races, between classes, between people's very interest in their next door neighbor is an indication of something terrible to come in the very near future. Now, I am still somewhat an advocate for positive thinking and the fact that we could potentially turn things around. But it requires people to have a cooperative spirit towards each other, not just towards activism, not just towards sound bites and feel-goodisms, which these politicians have been shoving down our throats and our ears every election cycle there ever was. It is a sham. It is complete lie, manipulation. It is disgusting. into what people in mass, millions of people are being subjugated to these lies and manipulations. Whole countries subjugated to the will of industrial complex interests that is forefronted by the military complex of civilized nations such as the United States. We are only in power because of the fear of death and destruction that we wield over the rest of the world. We use our political might and our military might and our financial might to keep the rest of the world at bay in pure fear. And at the same time, we have learned how to manipulate the minds of our own people to become consumers and producers in a vicious cycle of complete lust over material products, over lifestyle development, over trying to be rich and famous and one up on one or the other. People need to wake up because this is an extinction event we're looking at. And if people do not get together and start recognizing each other and start respecting each other and knowing that we are all in this together and connected, it is game over. It doesn't matter what platform you support. It doesn't matter what party you support. I support respect. I'm down with whatever you want to call it, the God, the Great Divine, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. We're all one. Everybody wants the same thing, to be respected, to have their safe home, and to have a good family and basic needs, and the potentiality to maybe come up a little bit and live a good life. But we need to redefine what a good life is. We need to have a re-understanding of what the sacred is. Our intention is all fucked up, and the other people are suffering as a result of it. Do you want that on your shoulders? Do you want to subjugate your children, your grandchildren, the next 7 generations to not just a virtual zombie apocalypse, but one that's living and happening right now as we speak? There are only 11 civilized first world countries in this world that are not in armed conflict as we speak. There are over 250 civilized national countries in this world that are involved in armed conflict. So you need to ask yourself, what is true economy and what is the future? We have no future of the way we've been rolling. It's up to you and me to change this situation. Take the power back and remove those people who do not deserve to be in these places of power, misrepresenting your interests while they push theirs forth and corporate interests forth. Take back the power. Vote with your wallet. Get involved with your local community, support your local businesses, and take care of your neighbors and reach out to people like you've never reached out to them before.